and welcome to Mollie's Motif. This is Emily, and today I'm going to show you the card that I'm putting together for two challenges that are starting over at Fantabulous Cricut and Bitten by the Bug 2. I'm also going to be doing a shaker card. I've not done a shaker card yet, and I think that's kind of the thing to do right now. And Mary over at Cards TV, she had an awesome tutorial video on how to do a shaker card, so I'm going to give that a try. And the challenges that are starting over at Bitten by the Bug 2, it's Mother's Day. We want to see Mother's Day cards or projects. And then over at Fantabulous Cricut, the challenge is paper fun. And we want to see pattern paper on your projects. That's not a hard one to do because I think we all love the pattern paper. So we just want to see you incorporate, fun patterns paper on your projects. So those are the two challenges that are starting. And so, yep, this is going to be a Mother's Day shaker card that I am creating. And the cartridges I'm going to be using, I'm going to pull from Doodlecharms. I'm going to use the basket that is found on page 89. And I've cut it at 2.5 inches. And I've also cut a shadow piece for that. And it's the pattern, the paper is just kind of it makes it look like a basket weave. That's the paper that I used to cut that out, just to give that a little bit more character. And then from Walk in My Garden, another great cartridge, I am going to be using on page 37. I'm cutting this flower, but I'm going to cut the border. I've cut that multiple times. I've cut, this is at 1 inch, and then I've cut a bunch at 3/4 of an inch. And I did cut this out of pattern paper, these little flowers. If you can see, there's little teeny tiny flowers. They're pretty faint, but it's pretty cute to have those cut out of that paper. So those are my flowers that I'm using. And I'm just basically going to be filling my basket with all of these flowers. So let's see if I can just kind of quickly show you. I'm going to arrange them so that it gives a really good dimension that the basket's just full of all these fun flowers for Mother's Day. So that is one of the images I'm going to be using. That is the shaker and then portion of my card. I'm just following, like I said, the tutorial that Mary over at Cards TV had issued just a few days ago. And she used one of the frames from the Elegant Edges cartridge. So this is the third cartridge I'm using. And I'm going to be using the frame on page 47. This is a different one than what she used in her video, but I really liked the shape of this one. And so basically what you do is you cut your shift base to get your background, whatever paper you want your background to be on your shaker card. And then, I guess I'll leave that here. And then Mary just created kind of some faux chipboard by cutting out of some white cardstock the shift frame function button. And I've cut that out 8 times out of just some white cardstock, to make a thick border. And then that's going to go on top of your pattern paper. And then you cut another on the shift base out of that clear paper. I want to call it acetate, but I don't know if that's really the name of it. So you cut that, and then you'll place that, after you fill in, obviously after you fill in your shaker card with the beads or sequins or whatever you're going to fill that with. And then you'll adhere all of this together. And then I cut another piece of pattern paper on the shift frame function, and that will be the top border that you'll see. And you won't, really see, you'll just see the edges, of the white cardstock, but you really won't see that too much. So that's kind of how her tutorial, Mary's tutorial, that's how she did that. And so that's what I'm attempting. Like I said, I haven't done this before, so it's all new for me. So I'll get that all put together and whatnot. And what I'm going to fill it with, I went down the jewelry aisle at Joann's and just picked out a variety of different beads and, different kinds of jewelry, little teeny tiny beads to fill in for the shaker. And I got these at 40% off. They're Darice, I guess that's the name of the brand. And that I think is a Joann's brand. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, those were 40% off. So I got them really close to a buck a pack. So I'm going to attempt to do that. We'll see how it goes. But all of my pattern paper, as far as my card goes, it is coming from a Simple Stories 6x6 pack. It's called Vintage Bliss, and this has some really pretty soft, I loved it for Mother's Day. I thought it was just really some fun options for Mother's Day card. And I got that at Hobby Lobby at 50% off. They were having a sale, so I love that. My base card, it's 5x5, and just out of some turquoise cardstock. And then my first mat is going to be just some cream, light yellow cardstock, which I'm just going to put down there. Apologize, my son, he feels so bad. He's got this nasty cough and cold. And then here is my pattern paper that I'm going to be as my next mat for the background. And then this is some more of that paper, and I've just cut a mat for there. And that is the same mat, the same paper that I'm using for the back of my mat on my shaker. So kind of put the shaker together, and that's going to go up here in the corner. Of course, it'll have the little beads and stuff in there when I get it all put together. And then my little flower basket is going to go down here. Oh, I forgot my ribbon. The cutest rickrack ribbon ever. I have some brown rickrack. Oh, is that glare so bad on my... I'm going to take this off because that glare is really bad. Sorry. So yeah, some rickrack ribbon is just from American Crafts. I thought that was so cute with this card. And then my basket will go down here. And then my sentiment is just, it's Most Loved Mom, and it's just from a dollar set that I picked up just at, I think it was Paper Studio for $1. And I'll just stamp that right down there. It says Most Loved Mom. And then I will have 2 flat back pearls just down the side, just for some balance. So that is kind of how it's coming together. I'm not sure how this whole thing's gonna... When I start doing the shaker portion, I'll see if that goes smoothly, but this is kind of my idea for my Mother's Day card. So I'll go ahead and work on this, and then I will come back and show you how it all turned out. Okay, so I've got the card put together, and it went pretty much according to plan. So just kind of tell you how I adhered everything. All of those pieces of white cardstock that I had cut out, I only have Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, and I know on Mary's tutorial she recommended not to use this just because the paper sometimes buckles. I didn't have that much of a problem with it using this, but I'm curious to see if the other glues that she recommended would work better. But this is what I used, and it's, you know, it's pretty, it hasn't buckled, so I'm okay with how that worked. So it's not like I'm going to go out and buy, you know, a new adhesive, because this has worked for me. So, but I went ahead and just did that, glued all the layers together, and then the acetate, you know, I just glued that down too. So with the quick dry, and it has worked fine. And then I just used my ATG to tack the whole thing down. It didn't need, you know, to be popped up on foam tape because it's already pretty thick. If you can kind of see how that works there, the thickness there. And then there's my little beads. So it's kind of fun. I'm happy with how it turned out. And then my basket, I just went ahead and used my Zig 2A to adhere my flowers down, and then I did pop this up with some foam tape so there's dimension on with the basket. And then I stamped Most Loved Mom with my Colorbox Chestnut pigment ink. And then there's my pearls. So the front, it just came together like I hoped. So, and I think it turned out pretty cute. And the inside, I just took some more of that pattern paper from the front. Oh, I'm kind of way off on the camera, sorry about that. Just took some more of that pattern paper, just lined it down the side, and then some of that cream cardstock that I used as my first mat on the front. I just used that to write the sentiment. And then one of the extra border flowers from Walk in My Garden, because I didn't use all 4 that I had cut. I just had used 3 of the 3/4 inch for my basket, and then I had this one left over and I just put it on in the inside, so I didn't waste that cut. And I think it just turned out really cute. This is what I'm actually going to give my mom for Mother's Day, so I will definitely be writing something in there. But I just, yeah, as far as my first shaker card, I think it turned out pretty good. So if you haven't given it a try, you might as well. If you've got the Elegant Edges cartridge, just, you know, find one of the frame borders that you like and give it a try. But it, you know, it did come together pretty easily. And again, I would encourage you to watch Mary's video on her tutorial to how to do that, because it was very just straightforward, and she explained it so well. So, but this is the card that I'm going to be showing for the challenges over at Fantabulous Cricut and Bitten by the Bug 2. And I hope that you'll join us this week for those 2 challenge blogs. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. You can leave me any feedback or comments, and I'd really appreciate it. You can always check out my blog. It's mollymugsblog.blogspot.com. And we will catch you next time.